Ladies and gentlemen, we have some massive news.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. We're gonna give this a shot. It's oh, I gotta mute my other screen. So it's me, it's Dylan over at Alternate Corner, and we're doing sports. We both really enjoy it. We started talking about it, and we said, hell, why not? So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's the worst intro ever, but anything you want to add?
Because say I'm super excited. Obviously, I still got my alternate corner stuff up. I'm like, shit, yeah, this is not the alternate corner. This is something completely different. You got to lie in. I thought it was a 9. I thought that was a Stafford one. Joking.
Okay. So I'll show you who it is real quick. Hopefully it comes through. But
Harrington. Jeez, that's an old school.
It's my Joey jersey. I promised myself I would not buy another jersey until they won a playoff game, and that was back in 2007.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm now with you. Now I get the relevance of it. Jesus, that's a long time ago. But yeah, wow. But yeah, I mean, look, mate, I'm super excited. We had a brief chat offline. This has been in the works now. You know, we've spoken before Christmas about doing it. It's something, obviously, the almighty sports twins. People think we look alike. So, hey, do you know what I mean? This is like a brotherly channel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely super excited to work with you on this. We've both got probably different views on stuff. We were just chatting about you're going to do stuff on hockey. We're going to do some stuff about college basketball, NFL. I've got a video coming out straight after this one based on the firings. I see people talk about firings today. I got a video based on that. Super pumped, man. Super pumped. Yeah. Just want everyone to like and subscribe as well. Tell your friends about it. And also, if you don't agree with us, tough shit. It doesn't matter. Just tell us. We don't care. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
God, rip it. Yeah. And that's what I want it to be, is rip it. And I think that you're based on Detroit content. You're going to be blasting Detroit content, but I also know you're going to be doing other content. And I'm going to be more generic about everything. Also, I'm Welsh. I don't know fuck all about any of this stuff. So I'm teaching myself as I go along. So I haven't got the terminology yet, but where I am is passionate. So I'm hoping to learn a little bit as well. So ready to go with the playoffs, my man. Super excited.
So I'm going to kind of derail for a minute because somebody asked me my opinion, and I said, watch the show tomorrow because tonight, you know what tonight is? Tonight's the National Championship. And God, nothing would make me happier than if Washington comes out and just rolls Michigan. Like, just rolls them. But, I mean, hang 100. I'm totally okay with it. I am deeply dislike the Michigan Wolverines. and I hope Michael Penix Jr. is ready to go and has a day. I don't. In all seriousness, it's going to be a good matchup. We have number one offense, number one defense. I think they're the two best teams. They're both undefeated, and let's roll the dice and see who wins. But hopefully, it's not Michigan, because I don't want to listen to people in this area with their Michigan bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I got you. It's unfortunate for me because for us, yeah, obviously it's going to be on at like 2 o'clock in the morning for me, so I'm not going to watch it, and I'll watch the highlights tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. I think it's not good. I think it's going to be potentially low scoring game. Potentially depends on how much you can play it. Something like Washington, don't underestimate them. Anyone that underestimates them, you are in for a wild ride if you underestimate them. They have got a great offense. Penix, he's got something to prove. He wants, become a top draft pick and everything. I think, if I'm being honest, I think Michigan wins it. I think they just about does. But I do think that JJ, he has to play better than he did in the semi-finals. JJ McCarthy, if he plays like, I don't think Michigan wins. I think if he does come out and plays his normal game, which I think he's a very good quarterback, I think Michigan wins it. But I also think it'll be a close game. I don't think it's going to be wildly wild apart either. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to, can that offense play. The more I look at it, I think it might turn into another UGA FSU. You mean that those gross Michigan people are UGA or FSU? I don't think Michigan's that good of a football team. I think they have a good defense. I think their offense is atrocious, and we saw that with McCarthy during the semifinal when he faces an actual defense. If Washington can score from anywhere on the field at any time, they can put the ball up. Rome Odunze, great receiver, probably second or third best, because a man from Ohio State's obviously number one, Marvin Harrison Jr. But yeah, he's easily top 5 wide receivers, and they can throw the ball like no one else. And it's going to come down to, can they block long enough for Penix to get the ball out? And Penix can move, so that helps. So he doesn't have to just drop back in the pocket, and if the Michigan defense comes out firing, the game will be over quick. See, I don't know about that, because again, Washington could score from anywhere at any time. It was impressive to watch them in the semifinal. So we'll see what happens. It's I hope that Michigan does not win a national championship. God, we would never hear the end of it. Never. They're still talking about 97 around here, like it just happened yesterday. So that was their last title. So
I think, though, if they do win it, I think Harbaugh, would he go then to the NFL as in his last hurrah? Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but I think a lot's pinning on this game tonight. I think about futures of a lot of people. I think so. It could be interesting. It's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it would be a good game. I can't. Michigan can't win. It's just not. It's not going to happen. Not in this universe. But look at one of the Arizona games. Washington barely pulled up. To be fair, if Iowa had any kind of offense, they would have beat them in the Big Ten championship game. But Kirk Ferentz has run the same offense that he got off a Cracker Jack box in 1912. So, like, they can't run an offense, but they did not look good at all against Iowa. I think Bama, if they would have came to play, probably could have beat them, but Bama just didn't show up. So, and that was always the worry, is Bama might not be hungry enough. We heard even Nick Saban say that they were a year out. Like it was next year was going to be where they'd be competitive. So it's not surprising that
Yeah.
they didn't come out to play. So, but yeah, let's get to the NFL. So we're gonna go through playoff game by playoff game and talk about it. Yesterday was a really fun set of games. There was a lot of seeding to be decided all the way up till the end. And yeah, there was some fun football yesterday to watch. And yeah, let's get into it. So we start with the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
And the first round bye goes barely to the San Francisco 49ers. The top three teams, Lions, Cowboys, and Niners, all had a 12-5 record. And if a certain Honolulu Blue and Silver didn't get screwed in Dallas, then it would have been a clear one. But we'll deal with it. I don't know. San Francisco didn't look good in the game yesterday against the Rams, and I don't know if they're a true one. I think it's going to be an interesting game, or interesting playoff for the Niners. So they get the first round bye. They'll wait for the wild card round, and yeah, I mean, you're a big fan of the Niners, so.
I think they deserve. I think they deserve number one overall. Go through the season. I agree they didn't play well yesterday, but at the same time they didn't really have their first teamers out there. Like Darnold was their quarterback. I thought he did okay. So I wasn't really bothered by yesterday at all. I thought they would lose, or it'd be a very close win if they did win it. Sean McVay, he's a mastermind as well. Going up against Kyle Shanahan, his game was sort of gamesmanships for them. So the Rams had more to gain than what San Francisco had yesterday, I think. And I think you saw that. So I think overall for the season, yes, I'm a big, I came in to the playoffs having San Francisco as my winners coming in. So, I'll stick with them as number one, So, yeah, I think for me, anyway, that's the right team to be number one.
They certainly feel like probably the most complete team. If you look at their end of the season statistics, passing yards, they were number 4 in the NFL, rushing yards 3, points 4 and points again, they were 3rd in the NFL. So they're balanced and maybe not the best, but definitely in that top 5 range in every category. And that's where it gets dangerous, when you're really good in everything, not great in anything, but you're really good in everything. So, and they're going to have to go to the Bay, and they're going to have to play in San Francisco because they have the one all the way through. So, I think that I still don't trust Brock Purdy. I just don't.
I get that. I do get that. People say he's like top 10 quarterback. I don't think he's anywhere near that. I think he's a top quarterback, or seems a top quarterback based on Shanahan system. You see Darnold. Darnold didn't play badly last night at all. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Look what happened to him in New York and Carolina and everything. Like, I'm sure if you gave him time in that system, he'd look like a top 5 quarterback in this league. So I think it's more to do with the system than the quarterbacks. I think if you dropped Kyle into not Kyle Purdy into another offense, I don't know, say like a Patriots one instead of Mac Jones, I think you'd see a different quarterback, in that situation. So you can't judge him yet. I can't say he's not a top 15 because we haven't seen it, but it wouldn't surprise me if he wasn't. Anyone should. Look, Garoppolo looked like a top 5 bloody quarterback in that system. So, and look what happened to him. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I don't think he's as good as what he's made to be in that essence.
Right. Yeah, and it's just Shanahan style. You build your system around a quarterback and see what the quarterback has to offer. So, I think he's their weak point. no playoff experience. No, I mean the playoffs are a different monster. Like we see it every year. The people that are have played playoff games are more likely to win playoff games. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, they won't play this weekend, but they'll play next weekend. So
Yeah. But also, I think we can discuss whether they deserve to be 1, 2, whatever. At the end of the day, this is a playoffs now. Doesn't matter what rank you're in anymore. This is a one-off game every week now, so they can rest up for a week. That great for them. Baltimore saying great, but after that, it doesn't matter anymore. Do you know what I mean?
right.
It's a one-off game every time now, so you've got no weeks to rectify any mistakes. So you've got to be on it, and I think having a week off will suit them as well. So
Yeah, and it looks like they're fairly healthy. I'm trying to look. Todd Smith's out with a foot, but that was for that last game. Gilmore and Zach Martin are questionable. So it looks like they're gonna have the full squad. Oh no, that's Cowboys. Sorry. I was on the wrong one already. So Thomas McCaffrey, Jennings, Gibson, Jared Brown, and Armstead. But I think that was more of the situation because none of them actually have injuries listed. So they're just out. So I think that was just more of the situation and the Niners sitting people than it was actual injuries, So they're going to be healthy. They have another week to get healthier. And we'll see what happens. So
I'll just see the chat. Hello, everybody in chat as well. Shani, JS, Josie, Neo, everybody,
Bobby.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, as we talk about San Francisco for 49ers, bang bang, Josie's in. She woke for this one. Big San Francisco 49ers fan, Josie and Sarah
really?
P. Yeah, Sarah P and Josie, they're huge Niners fans. Bang bang.
Huh.
So, if they're around, they always say good stuff about them.
All right. Well, let's not say any more good stuff about them and move on to the first game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. ESPN had it weird. I just put it how ESPN had it. Number 7, Green Bay snuck in Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. This game's Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be on Fox. Well, let's break it down. The Cowboys are absolute cheaters that have a quarterback that I'm not a fan of. And then we have Green Bay, who really snuck in. And Dallas, 3rd in the league in passing yards, 1st in points for, 5th in total defense. They're a good team. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
So, and then on the other side of it, Green Bay, 12th in passing yards, 15th in rushing, 12th in points for, and 10th in points against. I think Green Bay is a sneaky good team. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think they have a shot at beating Dallas. But I think they're a formidable team. I think that it's going to be a closer game than people are going to give it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll see. Both teams look relatively healthy, especially for this late in the season. Like I said, Smith, Martin, and Gilmore for the Cowboys, but they're all questionable. Dillon for the Packers, and Christian Watson was out for this weekend's game. So they'll be relatively healthy going into it. I don't trust Jordan Love, but whatever, they have Jordan Love or Brock Purdy, and I think Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So,
I was impressed with J Love last night. I thought he played very, very well. I thought he led them well. I thought he was a big part of why they won that game. I thought they could have come unstuck, but he was very impressive. I thought. I think their offense is very, very good with Green Bay, and I think they're transcending the right way at the right time. So I don't think you can in a playoff game. We know you can't underestimate any single team anymore.
Right.
I do think I lean towards Dallas on paper, but it's a one-off game, so we don't know. I think it depends. I think with Dallas, they are the biggest problem Dallas have is themselves. They beat themselves up a lot. I don't know, McCarthy, obviously Packers relationship, he'll want to beat them, but I don't think that plays into it. I just think it's, I don't know, sometimes he just does wild stuff at wild times, so I'm not sure. I think on paper Dallas wins it quite easily, but they got lucky against the Lions. They were quite impressive yesterday, but they're playing Washington or whoever they're playing, so it wasn't exactly a mighty test. And then Green Bay, as I say, they're ascending in the right way. So I think it'd be a closer game than, as you said, closer game than people give it credit for. We watch it now; they blow the top off them. But two quarterbacks, I think are above average, but I think they're home advantage will play key here in the supporters they come out. I don't know. It should be a Dallas win, but Dallas could Dallas, so who knows in the end. So yeah.
Well, that's the two factors that I don't know that people always consider. One, Dallas is a choke artist. Like they choke whenever the stage gets big, they choke. And also Green Bay, like Dee said, they've exceeded their season's expectations. They're playing with house money. There's nothing to prove here. They just go out and play football.
Nothing to lose.
And that's scary. That's scary. When you're facing a team that already achieved more than they thought they would and is just going out there to play football and have fun. That can be dangerous. With that being said, the NFC North was maybe the best division of football this year. Brightest division in football. You have Chicago and Minnesota at 7-10, Green Bay at 9-8, and of course the Detroit Lions at 12-5. So there were, you had teams that were almost the entire division was really close. Within a game and a half, 2 games of 500. And there's a lot of young talent. Green Bay's got a young team. Minnesota's got to find a quarterback, but and Chicago has a young and promising team that looks like they're coming up. So I think it's going to be an exciting division to watch, and I think it's going to be eventually where a champion comes out of at some point. So, but yeah, I don't know if I had to pick and could pick the winner, influence the winner, I would pick the Packers. But I think that's just my hatred for the Cowboys. So,
that's fair. No, I think that if it depends on what the line was on Sunday, then if it's, I don't know what the line's going to be, but Michael Packers, but for money line, you'd have to be. I would go Cowboys, just because I don't know. I'd have to. I think on this one, but yeah, I can understand why people would go Packers though.
I was trying to look at the lines because that also makes it different.
Yeah, it's different for you. Whereas Josie's like Dallas loves to choke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dallas is a 7.5-point favorite against the Packers.
Then I'd put money on Packers to win.
Yeah, I would.
I think 7.5 is too much. I think it'd be a closer game than that. So on that, I'd go Packers.
Yeah, I would take the Pack. That's a crazy line in my opinion. Not the craziest, but we'll get to that in a minute. But
okay. I don't know any of the lines, by the way. I don't know any of the lines, so that's fine.
So, but yeah, I think that the Pack could pull the upset, but it's likely the Cowboys. So now we go to the next game. I'm gonna let you start with this one.
Yeah, fine. This is going to be an interesting one. I was thinking about this one because there's a lot of emotion going to be in this one with you. I was thinking about it, but who's got the best defense? I going into it, I think I'd lean towards the Lions. I think on current play, maybe not on paper, but on current play, they're on firing on all cylinders at the minute. Start of the season they struggle, but now they're firing. So I don't know where they do stand in terms of defense, but I would take them over most teams now, and also the O line. Oh my God, I think the Lions O line is incredible. The only piece that I would probably swap out, in my opinion, is the quarterbacks. I think Stafford's a better quarterback than Goff, but wide receiver wise, I think it's equal. I don't think there's any difference. So I mean, everything on paper leans towards the Lions. I think, but I think the Rams win, but only because I think the Detroit Lions beat themselves up and get overhyped. McVay's a very clever guy, and he'll know what to expect going into this game. Dan Campbell has shown his cards. He goes for everything. So, and I admire him for that. I do, but sometimes I hope he uses common sense. This is a playoff game. You haven't got next week to rah the team up and go, let's get it back. It's a one-off game, man. You just got to go for it. As in, you've got to be sensible in what you do. That's the only reason I think that experience and stuff, I lean towards the Rams winning it. But I'm rooting for the Lions, man. I generally am rooting for the Lions. On paper, I think the Lions should win this game. But there's so much hype, so much rested on their shoulders. Is the pressure going to get to them? That's my only worry for the Lions. Is it going to be too big a stage for them? Especially with Stafford coming back, and especially with the narrative and everything like that. And especially if Dan Campbell doesn't rein it in a little bit. If he reins it in and it's more sensible, then fair play to him. I've got to tip my hat to him. But again, I think the Rams, I don't know. I just think that I lean towards the Rams a little bit, but my heart says the Lions, my head says the Rams. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No. So the Lions are a 3-point favorite, which I was shocked by. Honestly, I mean, they're the better seed. They probably should be, but that never works out like it's supposed to. So the Lions are a 3-point favorite over the LA Rams. So here's my thing. So, like you said, it's going to be hella emotional at Ford Field on Sunday. I think they play on Sunday. Yeah, 8:15 primetime game, NBC. Yeah. So you have the primetime, you have the NBC, you have the first Lions home playoff game in 30 years. First one in Detroit in 30 years. Yeah. You also put into that Ford Field was built within the last 30 years. So it will be the first ever playoff game at Ford Field. And I called this one a month ago when we were talking? It was going to be Rams Lions. There was no other way this was going to happen. When you're talking about teams and so the Lions are number 2 in the league in passing, number 5 in rushing, 5 in points for, and they're 23rd in defense, total defense. But you have to take into account that the defense got a hell of a lot better as the season progressed. Like when we started, there were a lot of pieces. we lost guys like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We had an injury bug that rolled through. They were able to keep it alive. But I love some of the pieces on our defense. The big linebacker out of Iowa, I forget what the hell his name is. What's his name? The rookie. Let me see.
I don't remember, but I know what you mean. Yeah, first round.
Jack Campbell.
Yes, Campbell.
You have Jack Campbell, who's looking like he's going to be a fixture there for a really long time. Also, draft pick Brian Branch out of Alabama, the safety. Like, he looks like an all-pro. Looks like he's going to develop into something great. So there are pieces to build upon. I think we could use a guy opposite Hutchinson and to rush the passer. We could use a couple outside linebackers, maybe a corner. I think we have to be very defense heavy in this year's draft, which we'll talk about later. But I think that certainly Detroit Lions have improved on defense, and it'll be fun to watch. Now, Los Angeles is kind of middle-ish. So they're 10th in passing, 11th in rushing, 8th in points for, and 19th in total defense. So it's the Lions have the edge on the matchup. Here's where I think it was perfect. So you have to. Dan Campbell's a double-edged sword. He does things that other people don't do, and that's probably why the Lions are where they're at. I think we could say that. He also does things that other people don't do because you shouldn't. And I think yesterday's game proved that. You had an injury to Khalif Raymond. You had Laporta. You had Amon-Ra St. Brown. Goff had a scare. And he just kept on the... Like, we're never going to be any more than the third seed. It just wasn't going to happen. Like, there was nowhere to move. We were there. And he just kept going at it. And you're watching key players go down with injury left, right, and center. You're like, Dan, maybe we pull back a little bit. Maybe we, and he didn't. And that was really concerning for myself and a lot of other people watching. Now, the only one that looks like it's going to be a question is Laporta, which is the tight end that they drafted. He's been a great safety valve for Goff. And he has a hyperextension of the knee and a bone bruise.
Yeah.
So he's going to be, that's going to be a toss-up. He'll probably go. I don't think he's going to be at 100%, but that's a key piece of that offense that's been so great. And you have Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown could be. I think we can clearly put him top 5 in the NFL at this point. He's a hell of a receiver. You have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in the backfield, a great offensive line. I think that if they come to play, that we could win this game. And that's weird to say because like I talked to you about, like we haven't won anything. And my entire life we won one playoff game in the Super Bowl era. One. That's it. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. 1991 was our only playoff win ever. We won one game and then proceeded to get completely stomped by what was then the Washington Redskins. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm hopeful, but at the same time, Stafford is Matt Stafford, and I'm sure he would want to put that knife in a little bit deeper, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think you said it. I mean, it's true fun. You're gonna be a little bit negative and you can't come out and say that you're going to beat them, because it's like one of these. You've got to control that energy. Do you know what I mean? So again, if Detroit, if he can keep calm, and if Dan Campbell can keep calm and everything, I don't mean, when I say keep calm, I don't mean just forget everything that you've done to get there. I don't mean that. I mean, there's some things he's done where it hasn't worked out. Just use your common sense sometimes. You know, sometimes it's okay to go for 1 instead of 2 points. And sometimes that 4 and 9, you don't have to go for every single one of them. You know, if you're in your own 20 or 30, just let it go, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Maybe go up a little bit further and then try it, you know? So I don't mean lose it, but there are situations where I've seen him do, and it's like, what? Why? You know, that's just why they. And if it works, then you know, he's not ever forgets about it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I do hope they win. But as I say, I especially with the points, I prefer the Rams right here. But I'm rooting for the Lions.
Yeah. And I think the most likely thing is going to be a late Stafford drive that, you know, they win by 1 or 2. I think the Rams win too. I just don't think the Lions are over that hump. I think that they're a great football team. They truly are. And they're much improved from where we thought they were going to be. And I think they're a threat moving forward. There's a couple pieces they have to fill, and get into that on, again, draft time. But yeah, I think it's going to be. It's not a fun experience. It's going to be a very contentious weekend because there's just so much there, and I think that they'll probably lose, and then go into next year and maybe know what it feels like and be able to take that next step. So
We'll
all
see.
right. So the last NFC game on the slate, we have the going downhill faster than a rock Philadelphia Eagles against the they actually made the playoffs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is going to be the Monday night primetime game. It is on ESPN, and let's see. The Eagles are a 2.5 point favorite. So Vegas says it's a close game. This one I think is the hardest one to call. If the Eagles play Eagles football, they can be the best team in the NFL, and we saw that all year. When they don't, they're not, and it's just which Eagles team are we going to get? And the slide, I think they. So out of their last 9, they've won 1 game and tied once. So they've had 7 losses out of 9 games. That's not a good way to back into the playoffs. So passing yards 16th, rushing yards 8th, points for 7th, and total defense is 30th in the NFL. So they're not good on defense. And then you have the flip side of that. Tampa Bay is 17th in pass yards, 32nd in rush yards. So dead last. And total defense is 7th. So, yeah.
Well, it's a strange one. This one is. Last time we recorded this, you had the Eagles winning it all.
Yeah,
I believe. So since then, the wheels just come off. They went to war, and someone forgot to tighten up those wheels. It's just like, what's going on? I got to believe that they're going to fix this by Monday night. They had most of the defense out this weekend, except for a couple of players. So okay, fine. But they lost to the New York Giants, though. Do you know what I mean? Their second team should be better than New York's first team. I just got to think that like Jason Kelsey, he's going to be amongst them now going, what the lads, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Depends what happens to AJ Brown. If he's, I'm not sure how serious his injury was. It looked really bad, but I'm not sure. Devontae, is he going to be fit? So there's a lot of question marks on this team. Again, Tampa Bay are the Green Bay. They've snuck in. It's like worst division in football, and they're there. Baker Mayfield leading the way, and I'm chuffed for him, by the way, Baker Mayfield, because he's just been tossed everywhere. So well done him. But this is another one where I think they could sneak it against the Eagles if Eagles don't get it right. Eagles seem to be bitching back and forward against each other. They want Sirianni sacked. It's like Eagles are going to be Eagles again. Same as Dallas, they're going to choke it possibly. I lean towards Eagles winning and getting it right because I believe in people like Kelsey. Because this might be his last season, so I think he's going to have to, pull something out, get Lane Johnson and all that, and be like, right, guys, this isn't. I think he's man enough to get everyone together and be like, what we do, we can't play like this, and that might be enough to get him through. I don't know, but I lean towards Philadelphia, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tampa Bay won.
Yeah. This is a true coin flip game, and Baker and the Bucks. The Eagles. I mean, if the Eagles can right the ship, yeah, I still think they're probably the most talented team in football.
Yeah.
But is it going to happen? And I don't know. I was really high on them before, and and then they just crumble. So I'm going to stop being high on teams that I want to win it because apparently they just crumble. But this is a true coin flip. Like you have maybe the best team in football playing maybe the worst team that made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I agree there.
If Philly had it together, this is a no doubter. Philly rolls, but I think it's going to be a close game. It's in Tampa Bay, so weather's not going to be a factor, which plays into it. So it's Tampa Bay host because they won the division, so it will be in Tampa. So sunny Florida compared to Philadelphia in the winter, and there's going to be snow this week. So maybe Philly caught a break and they win and move on. I don't know. We'll see. This one's going to be an interesting one to watch because it could be a train wreck for either side. So I don't know. Fly Eagles fly.
Yeah,
maybe
I'll go with the Eagles. I'll go with Eagles here. Yes.
Yeah. If you give me the points, no, I think it'll be more than 2. I'll stick with the Eagles. So.
Yeah. Same.
All right. So then we move on to the AFC, the American Football Conference, and so this team, the Baltimore Ravens, somebody lit a fire under this football team. It's kind of scary. Number 1 in the league in rushing yards, number 1 in total defense, 4 in the league in points for, and then passing yards, they're 21st, but I think that number is a little bit misleading based on how they've kind of ran up the score in some games and stuff like that. I think they're the best team in football right now, and they're going to be tough to stop. So,
yeah.
Trying to look
because I had this team as my number 1 as well. So, but I had them losing to the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So,
okay.
That I think last time we filmed this, that's what I went with was Baltimore losing to the 49ers in the Super Bowl final. So yeah, I'm very high on the team. I think they've gone even better now than they were when we last recorded. So yeah, I mean, you have to say currently they're probably the favourites for the Super Bowl. Yeah, I would say they probably are the favourites for the Super Bowl in my mind right now. So yeah,
They just play such a complete game, and obviously they're gonna have the bye, get people healthy. There's not a ton of injury, but I saw them. I don't know, 6-8 weeks back, completely just dismantle my Detroit Lions. Like they were just surgical about it. You could not stop anything they were doing, and that defense is incredible. Really good defense, which is what they're known for. They can run the football, milk the clock. I think they're a dangerous football team. And probably the most complete team and probably the best team in the NFL right now. I think hands down. So, but people trip up, so who knows? So we'll see them play next week. The matchup. This is the mirror of the NFC 4-5 matchup. We have the number 5 Cleveland Browns at the number 4 Houston Texans.
yeah.
Saturday 4:30. God, I mean, I think that yeah, I don't know. Houston surprised me all year. You have another one of those storyline games where massage guy, what's his name?
Watson, Sean Watson.
Yeah, facing his former team. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is Flacco still the Browns quarterback? Because I know they switch back and forth. Okay.
No, he is. He was rested this week.
Gotcha. Okay. So I mean, neither one of them do anything great. They're kind of middle of the pack. Cleveland Browns are 19th in pass yards, 12th in rushing yards, 10th in points for, and 13th in total defense. Kind of middle of the pack on most, if not everything. And Houston's kind of the same way. So 7th in pass, 22 in rush, 13th in points for, and 11th in total defense. So I think it's a good matchup. I don't see either one of these teams making it past the next round. I think this is kind of a cannon fodder game. Whoever makes it gets beat by somebody in the next round. But I think it's an interesting matchup. I'm gonna go with the Browns because I just can't take an Ohio State quarterback. Like, just
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
so
That's fair. Last time we filmed, I said that Houston Texans are my underdog team of the year. I'd no one expected them to be it. You know, I'm Texans all the way in this game. I think they're going to win it. I think that CJ Stroud is going to lead them to the glory. I think that Flacco's he's done really, really well. But I mean, if Houston do not play good, like they got Singletary, cornerback and stuff. How Flacco's done is just thrown that ball deep, all the time, and they've been scoring. They got Singletary, they got a few of the pieces around there in Houston. They have to, avenge that. Just go right. We're not going to give him that. Let him run the ball. Now Cleveland got a hell of a defense. I'll give him that, right? But I just got to believe that Houston does it. I think they're both okay, average teams, as you just said. I just lean towards Houston Texans. I think they've got the better quarterback, and I think overall they've got the better team. They got everything going for them. I think Cleveland Browns can be proud. Stefanski's done an amazing job where they are currently. There's no way in the world that they should have been in the playoffs, considering all the injuries and everything they got. but they could be proud of that. And I think Houston's the same. No way should they have been in the playoffs at the start of the season, but D'Amico Ryan's done a fantastic job. And I think as a team, they gelled, and that's the only reason I lean towards them. But I'm the same as you. I don't think they go any further. Whichever team goes through, I don't think they go further. But I will give the win to the home advantage to the Houston Texans on this one.
Okay. Yeah, and if I could pick an Ohio State quarterback, I would probably go with you, but I just can't. So go Browns. Joe Flacco next weekend. So if they win and make it to the next game, will be 39 years old.
Yeah.
Put pressure on him. I mean, he's coming up on 40. Puts the pressure on him. He can't move. He's a pocket passer, a true pocket passer. I think if you can put pressure on Flacco, you win the game. Because he is. He's just throwing up prayers and hoping that somebody's going to bring it down.
It's working, isn't it? So
yeah. But it's one of those live by the sword, die by the sword things. And eventually that luck runs out. They're also in a great, very, very good division where 3 teams in the AFC North made it. Baltimore, obviously, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh made it out of the AFC North, and all 4 teams in the AFC North were over 500. Cincinnati missed the playoffs at 9-8. So it's a competitive division. And yeah, I think that I think in the long run it doesn't matter, because neither one of these teams are going to make it past the next weekend. Again, it's played in Houston, so weather's not going to be a factor. Those Cleveland winners, they're rough. So, a social studies teacher years ago played for the Cleveland Browns, who went to prison halfway through the school year. Well, that's kind of the old adage. If you play professional football in Ohio, you probably had been to jail. Maybe I just think that, but the the Bengals and the Browns have taken some questionable characters over the years. So yeah, I should probably let you in on that, Dylan. Michigan and Ohio do not get along. So
I know.
Anything Ohio.
I know.
Anything.
It's fine. It's I watched Barstool Sports, and you got Big Ev and Dave Portnoy, both hate Ohio State, Michigan, all that, So I get it. I get the whole thing, And Dave Portnoy keeps calling Michigan State little brothers. They're sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate them. They're just like our little brothers. Do you know what I mean? Michigan State. So that's like, oh, that would rile me up. So yeah, I get the vibe on it. I understand it. So yeah, I just don't get involved in it. Do you know what I mean? So
we actually fought a war against each other, Michigan and Ohio, like a legit war. Like, we don't like each other at all.
Yeah, that doesn't. When it comes to sport and stuff like that, I'm not surprised with some of the stories I've heard. Not just there, but over everywhere. Yeah, Jesus.
See, Bobby, I finally agree with Bobby. Ohio sucks. The whole country knows it. Yes. Armpit of America. So everybody hates Ohio. So with that being said, I took the Browns because I can't do an Ohio State quarterback. The return of Tyreek Hill to the motherland.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs host the Miami Dolphins. This one's a primetime game on Saturday, 8:15, and it's going to be on frickin' Peacock. So I'm going to have to pay for Peacock to watch this game, but I'm definitely going to watch this game.
No. That sucks for you guys, doesn't it?
Yeah. Peacock is... They're putting, like, random games on it, so I had to... And you can't, like, dude, if you're going to put the random game on it, charge me, like, $5 for the damn game. I don't want to pay for your service for a month and then forget to cancel it and then get screwed and then have it for 2 years and not realize I had it. Like, just let me buy the game. If anybody who cares ever listens, but
They don't care. That's the thing.
I know. That's part of their profit margin is me forgetting that I didn't cancel it. But I am really, really shocked that the Dolphins are down here. They were so dominated at portions of the season. Number 1 in passing, number 6 in rushing, second in the NFL in total points for. Defense kind of garbage, 22nd in the NFL. But I am surprised that they're at 6. Of course, you didn't win your division, so the best that you could do, and they lost because they lost to Buffalo. But without winning the division, the best you're going to do is 5th. But yeah, and then you have the legacy team that has the curse of I don't know. Can we say the Swiftie curse? Is that allowed?
I think it's allowed.
Passing yards 6th, rushing yards 19th, points for 15th, and points against 2nd. So they fixed defense, but the offense seems to have suffered in Kansas City. Of course, they paid Mahomes, just backed up the Brinks truck and let him have what he wanted. I don't know. I think this is probably going to be one of the more fun games on the docket. Can Tua do it? Yeah, I know, Josie. That's what I said. Can I say it?
Yeah, you can. If Guess the Spews, you can. Remember, he said it, not me, Swifties. I'm a big Swiftie fan, so, you know.
So I think Tyreek Hill has something to prove and might win this game on his own. I don't know. I think this is going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be track meet. I think you're going to see a huge score on the scoreboard. And yeah, I'm going to take the upset. Go Fins. So,
is it an upset? Are Kansas the favourites?
They're the favorites by 3.5 points. So, yeah.
Oh, I would take Miami like all day, every day on that. On that line. I just, like they say, never bet against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
But I got to bet against them on this one. I mean, Miami, Jesus, especially Tyreek Hill, he's got to come in and want to destroy Kansas City. Obviously, Andy Reid's going to want to destroy him as well. Chris Jones played well. You know, they've just got such a great team, defense-wise, Kansas City, but offense-wise, I don't see it for Kansas City. I think they got Patrick Mahomes, and unfortunately, Travis Kelce, for whatever reason, isn't clicking at the minute. Okay, you've got Rice. He's not really well. He's doing okay, but they got a few injuries. I don't know. I just know that Miami, though, are choke artists as well. They seem to just lose all the games they should win. But even though with that, I think Miami is a more well-rounded team. I do not like Tua. I do not like him as a quarterback. I'm not a fan of his at all. But the only thing that I think to stop him is the weather as well, depending on how it is in Kansas City. Not an issue for Tyreek, but an issue for maybe some of the players there. So that could play a factor. The weapons they've got, man. Waddle, Hill, there's no excuse. I'm sorry to say, there's no excuse why the Dolphins shouldn't win this game. In my mind, they should really go in and win this. On that line, they should be favourites to win this game. If I'm being completely honest with you, the only factors are, I think, the weather, and also because it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I think that's the reason why they're not favourites. So I would go with Miami Dolphins. It's not to say that I want them to win, because I got an affection towards Andy Reid. I like Andy Reid a lot. His history, his story, you know, and everything. I like him a lot. I think he's blue collared and everything. So I'll be rooting for Andy. But I think that Miami they should win this. But hey, check it out now. Mahomes gets a career game. But yeah, I especially with a line as it is, I would have to go with Miami Dolphins with that line.
Yeah. So here's pulled up the weather forecast real quick for what it is right now. So American units, freedom units, it will be 4 degrees during the day, -2 at night. So, and that's on Saturday night. So it's going to be below 0 temperatures Fahrenheit. And snow showers, some scattered rain, freezing rain. So it's gonna be hell. Of course, Arrowhead's out and the elements, it's wide open.
Yeah.
So that's gonna play a huge factor, I think. And of course, weather can change. Tua was number 1 in the entire NFL with 4,600 passing yards. I love Tua. I think
Hate him. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
And then of course, when you have a target like Tyreek Hill, number 1 in yards at 1799, number 1 in touchdowns at 13. I mean, does it get any? Is there a better wide receiver in the NFL? And I don't think there is. So that's going to make a difference. I think it comes down to really who can run the football when you're talking about weather like that. And again, the edge goes to the Dolphins. But like you said, they historically have choked over and over and over again. They're kind of like the next team we're going to talk about, and can they pull it off? That's the $1 million question. Can they actually pull it off? And I think with that line, I take the Dolphins all day and hope.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Speaking of that next team, we have the Steelers of Pittsburgh, PA, against the talking about choke artist Buffalo Bills.
What's the line on this one? I'd be interested to hear the line on this one.
This one is the biggest spread in the entire weekend. Buffalo Bills -10. 10-point favorite for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
I got the Steelers.
Give me the Steelers. Where's my towel? Where's my yellow towel?
Woo-hoo! I have one. I'll have to find it because the Super Bowl in Detroit, it was Steelers Seahawks.
The bus.
Yeah. Jerome Bettis. Yep.
The bus. Final game Detroit. Yeah, I remember it.
Mm-hmm. And Jerome was born in Detroit, so
yeah,
it works.
There we are. Yeah.
This one, I don't know. On paper, Buffalo should roll.
Yeah.
Although they, I don't know. They're not. They're the top echelon. 8th in passing yards, 7th in rushing, 6th in points for, 4th in total defense. I think Josh Allen's a great quarterback. I think he's one of those guys that has talent but doesn't take the game seriously.
Yeah.
And then you have obviously Diggs. I think Diggs is a great receiver. And on paper, yeah, they should roll. They should roll the Steelers. The Steelers are abysmal. 25th in passing, 13th in rushing, 28th in points for, 28th. So right at the bottom. And 6th in total defense. Yeah, they play defense, and that's about all they can do, at least decently well. I don't think Kenny Pickett's the answer here at all. I think he's a good placeholder, but I think when you're talking about trying to win championships, I don't think Kenny Pickett's your guy. Sorry, just looking up weather. So it's going to be snowy. about 20 degrees, so a lot warmer than Kansas City, but Buffalo's known for getting pounded with snow randomly out of nowhere, because of the lakes. But yeah, I don't know. This one's a there can't be a line that big in the playoff game. So if I'm betting it and betting against the spread, I'm taking the Steelers, and this is one where if you're just going who's going to win the football game, everything in your being says, "Oh, the Bills have this."
Yeah.
But I just have a feeling go Steelers. So I think the Steelers win this game, and I don't know how. I think it's going to be messy, but I think Buffalo goes home early again. So
I don't disagree. I think a lot of it will come down to the defense if TJ Watt's playing. If TJ Watt's playing, I agree with you. I think the Steelers just about managed to win this outright. If he's not playing, I think the Bills win it. I think he has that much of an influence on this game because he's a sack master. I just think if Josh Allen gets frustrated by their defense, I think he's just going to start throwing it, and then it's a 50-50 ball between Diggs, Gabe Davis, and their defense, and that's not a good place to be when he's playing like that. The Steelers were on the third quarterback, number 3 quarterback, Mason Rudolph. Wow, is he starting the playoffs? That's going to be a huge question. They seem to be rolling with him. So why would he change it? They've won most games with him now, so why change it? In some instances, they keep going, play the hot hand. Even though I don't think he's a great quarterback, the players seem to be playing for him. I agree with Kenny Pickett. I think he's a really nice guy, but he's not the answer. Nice story, Pittsburgh College, University, then Pittsburgh Steelers. Great story, but not, it's not long term. The spread definitely go for Steelers, and I think coin toss. I think if TJ Watt's playing, I'd sneak it to the Steelers. But if not, I would probably bet on the Bills. But I probably wouldn't bet money line at all on this one. I probably would bet spread, and because of that, I would bet Steelers in that situation. It's just too big. Obviously, they could come out and score 30 points on them, but I just don't know. I think that Steelers keep you within 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. TJ Watt's questionable. He's having an MRI. Well, he had an MRI yesterday on his MCL. And the reports I'm reading say they're going to stick with Rudolph to the playoff. So that all but confirms that, Pickett's probably gone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But, no, I think I don't know. Something about it just makes me feel Steelers.
Yeah.
It seems like one of those upset games.
There's always one. There's always one. So this could be it. So,
Yep. But so that is our playoff matchups. The 7 teams in the playoffs. Oops, that's not where I wanted to go. So, who's your now that the field's set, now that the pathways are there, who do you have in the AFC and the NFC?
I stick
totally on the spot.
I stick with the same thing. San Francisco against Baltimore. I don't change it, even though still it's a one-off game. But I think there's going to be upsets, and I don't suspect it'll be the two of them in there. But I have to go with who I think are the 2 best teams currently playing, and those from both divisions are the best teams. But when it comes to Sundays, it's that one-off game, man. Everyone has the potential to beat anyone on these grounds. So you just can't pick a winner. You can, but I'm going San Francisco, Baltimore, and then dismissing Dolphins, dismissing the Eagles, dismissing Kansas. Do you know what I mean? we're dismissing a lot of big teams there, and then
Right.
the Lions go on a run and stuff like that. So, I stick with what I got, because until we start seeing these playoff games, seeing who's injured, who's not, then I don't think I could go any other way, to be quite honest. And I suspect that you probably change yours slightly now, because you've had the Eagles against Baltimore. So I imagine you probably change it slightly. Or would you change it?
So I don't know. I'm going to think about it for 1 second and address the bets if this game gets snowed out. It doesn't look like it's going to get snowed out, but we have a lot of snow moving into the area, especially here in Michigan. We have snow coming. And so the Super Bowl logo theory will hold for now. I don't know what the Super Bowl logo theory is.
Neither do I.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Huh. So here's how I think you can kind of break it down. I think the Ravens are a shoe-in unless something crazy happens. And then the NFC, I'm looking back over it just to be sure. I literally think you could roll. I think the Packers have no chance. But 1 through 6, I think you could literally roll a dice and be as close picking a team to make it out of the NFC. So the colors on the logos match the teams playing this year. It's purple and red, so Baltimore and San Francisco. Huh. I didn't know that. That's interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I know that's not a great answer, but
no, it doesn't matter anyway. As you say, every Sunday is going to be a different game, so we could do this every week, and it'll be changing. The only reason I'm doing it because I got Josie watch it, so I've got to go with Niners. Do you know what I mean? So bang bang.
Trying to gain favor, right? Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I mean, happy board, happy. Do you know what I mean? You know the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, no, I mean, literally, I think you could roll a dice and be just as accurate as picking somebody. And I know what number wouldn't come up 3. The Lions, they're not experienced enough. I'm still kind of pissed at Campbell for the way he played this weekend. See, I'm trying to work through them. Bucks, I don't know. Eagles, I think are DOA. Can't pick the Cowboys, so yeah. I mean, Niners, I guess, until next week when I change my mind.
Yeah.
But so
it is.
But yeah, no. I think it's going to be a fun weekend of football, and I'm looking forward to it. So
same here.
Yeah.
Same here, and we'll try and do another one of these next week then.
Yeah.
If we're able to do that, we'll try to be consistent and do one a week of these, just different time zones, and because different content going out there, it's hard at times to do it. But hopefully we squeeze these in. It's good. I've got a video coming out after this for people who are interested. It's actually just discussing some of the people being fired today and previously, and I'm hoping to get some videos out around candidates for different positions in the next few days. I know that, I'm going to get some content out. I know Mike will get some content out. So we appreciate anyone to support us, guys. If you like our stuff, please tell other people about us. If you don't like our stuff, just tell us. Just tell other people about us anyway. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate all the support. And don't worry, I'm not going to put the Lions gears on or Dallas jerseys and stuff like that. I'll leave that to my team. What do we need to do? Because you done me dirty again with these fucking Dallas tops on. Massive Lions.
You have to send me a different picture.
I know. Dirty. I was like, what is going on? Peacock.
I'm trying to remember. The Kansas City Miami game, of course.
The best game.
The must-watch game.
Yeah.
That's on Peacock exclusively. There might be a way around it if I will be, if not all of them, most of them, I will stream in my Discord. So if anybody wants to sub to Discord, we hang out and watch the games in there. So you're welcome to do that. But yeah, no, I had fun with the show, and I'm looking forward to more. I'll get some stuff out too. So
yeah,
but,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I think you're going to probably do a lot more Lions reaction stuff. There's a lot more for you, the playoffs. Where I'm just leaving that alone for you, really, because it's your big thing. Whereas for me, I'm quite interested in the who's going to be, the next coaches and stuff like that. And then we'll carry on doing the playoff stuff, and then we'll start doing mock drafts, which I'm super excited about as well.
So looking forward to it. So looking forward to it. There's a couple I want to talk to you about it, but we'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk.
There's a couple different ways that I think would be fun to do it. So
yeah, fine. I'm all ears, mate. So, but yeah, thank you everybody. Really appreciate you. Have a great day. I'm not sure if you're streaming today. I've got a stream coming up in 20 minutes. If anyone wants to watch a trial, I'm not sure if you got. I think you got Matt Moore tonight or something, haven't you?
Verdict tonight or closing? No. Verdicts next week. We have closing arguments tonight, and then I don't know. We might get to the verdict. I haven't looked to see how long the closings are. We kind of got screwed with our schedule because it was Christmas, and then I was gone.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get back to that. Finish that up. But yeah, Matt Moore tonight, and yeah.
Happy days.
So thanks everybody for stopping by. Please hit that like button on your way out if you haven't already. Sub to the channel, and until next time, have a good one, y'all.
See you later, guys.